What up, G?
I love that so much. I'm never gonna get sick of that ever. Welcome to episode 4. Wow. It's
Amazing.
it's rolling, huh?
I'm
Uh
glad that you're keeping track because I have lost count. I'm like, what episode are we? Good.
yes. Yes.
Virgo. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, my Virgo rising comes in handy, you
It's
know?
beautiful.
It is beautiful. Before we dive in to content, I just want to put out there that we have an upcoming virtual workshop on May 3rd,
Yeah.
11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central, and it's free.
Yeah.
So come join us, check out what we do. And then we also have our series, virtual series, May 6th.
Yeah.
So it's basically right after that. And that is a 6 session series, $350 for the whole package. Really solid deal considering the value of what we do. And then we'll share more as we have more events coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into it. Wow.
All right. So today is brand new moon in Taurus. You and I both have our moons in Taurus. What
Right.
does that mean for people who are like, why do these people keep talking about astrology and new moons and rising and Venus and blah, blah, blah? Um,
Hmm.
So, can you help us understand what it means to have your moon in a specific sign?
Oh, I would love to. This is
I know.
my jam.
I know it is. That's why I'm asking the question.
Yes, I love that. Okay, so your moon placement is all about your internal emotional experience. So your internal world. Because we have our moon in Taurus, it's the first earth sign. It's Mother Earth. She is very feminine in her nature, pun intended. Uh, and she is a fixed sign, so can be pretty stubborn.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, yeah, I know. We don't know anything about being stubborn at all. Us, like Taurus, Leo placements, not at all. Um, and what else? Let me think. She is the bull. So strong-willed, knows what she wants.
Yeah.
There's a tendency, something that I've noticed is there's a tendency for people to gravitate towards Taurus placements because they have this sort of energy of wisdom and knowing
Oh, okay.
and feel very grounded in that.
Mm.
Like I'm sure you've gotten, I know I've said this to you, and I'm sure you've gotten it elsewhere, is that like when you have big tourist placements, people always, not always, usually say, "Oh, you feel so calm to be around,"
Oh, absolutely.
right? Oh,
Oh,
it's really
yeah.
nice, like energy. Um, so yeah, the way that translates into our moon placement is that the best way that we feel centered inside of ourselves typically is when we are outside in nature
Yeah.
and we are eating good food because Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is all about the pleasures of life, food, aesthetics,
Yeah.
comfort, and security. And so the way we experience life when we're really grounded is through satisfying the senses.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the more that I have come to understand the nuances of having the moon in Taurus, it's like, oh, that's why I do this. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I am like,
Right.
but also major Taurus placements love routine, um,
Totally.
and love the consistency.
Yeah.
I associated certain things to do with like, I found out a long time ago, like, oh, I have some roots within Slavic, I'm within Slavic descent. And so I'm like, oh, I thought, my consistency, had to do with that. But actually, it could be more so because I have a moon in Taurus.
Yeah.
What's also interesting is that masculine feminine dynamic of we have our sun sign in Leo. Sun is the sun is masculine, Leo is masculine, and then the moon is feminine and Taurus is feminine. So you've got immediate balance happening right away.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yes. Yeah, and Taurus being an earth sign, the way we best process our feelings typically, like obviously there's variation, but what I've noticed and maybe what you've noticed is doing something tangibly to move energy through our bodies is like one of the best ways to process feelings.
Yes,
Versus
absolutely.
like, right, like if somebody has like an air, like an Aquarius moon, for example, maybe they're going to do best with talking things out and intellectualizing it and then getting into the emotions, you know? So there's a importance of doing things in the tangible 3D world
Mhm.
that's very like satisfying to our internal emotional experience.
Which is why I gravitated towards visual art most
Yes.
of my life. And
Right.
then working out, and then like
Huge.
dramatic movement, and facilitating that, through North Node. Like it's like that makes so much sense.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's a perfect translation of our Taurus moon, what we do in therapeutic theater. Completely. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. All about the moon.
So today is brand
Hmm.
new moon in Taurus. How has this affected you? Has it affected you throughout this week? I know, right? This week
Yeah.
was insane. You and I experienced crazy energetic shifts this week, just on the opposite end of the spectrums, which is so interesting to me. So curious. So, what happened for you this week?
Yeah. It felt like I remember telling you, it felt dense and heavy and uh and I could like feel it in my body and it felt more difficult to sit in it and process it and move it through than usual.
Yeah.
It felt like a lot heavier.
Yeah.
And then I noticed that I wanted to distract more because of that. Like I wanted to like try to like cope with it through like, watching TV or sort of avoiding my own emotional experience.
Mhm.
And then I was like, "Oh, that's not great. Let me drop into this more because I know I feel way better when I'm moving things through." So there was several days where I went outside and literally just stood there barefoot in the ground and didn't do anything. So it was challenging for sure. And my sleep was weird and that usually happens before like the new moon or full moon. A lot of energy is just swirling around and it messing with my nervous system.
Yes.
Yeah.
The full moon, I feel a great deal. The new moon, I have, especially as I've been continuing my spiritual path and becoming more and more aware of what my energy is doing, what my physical body doing is
Yeah.
doing. Um, my emotional body, my mental body, my spiritual body, all of the things. the new moon is just as potent as the full moon. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Ooh, tell the audience more about that.
Yeah, well, it goes back to, farming. Right? Like spiritually, you're going to want to plant new ideas, new manifestations or new vision for the new moon. And then during the full moon, it's like it's like the universe is like pointing a spotlight
Hmm.
on the shit that you need to like bring to the surface and harvest,
Hmm.
get rid of, purge out, which is everybody is affected by the moon, whether you know it or not, whether you're aware of it or not. Like it seems like energy is slightly more chaotic within the grand collective during a full moon.
Hmm.
There's more accidents, there's more crazy drivers, people have less patience sometimes. It's like, oh, like navigating the world. I'm like, that's an interesting response.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's not by no means is it to blame, an emotional outburst of I'm in the full moon energy. It's like, no, no, no. Reacting versus responding, right? Like
Yeah.
allowing the emotions to come up and transmuting them in a healthy way,
Mhm.
regulating your nervous system so that you're not spiritually bypassing and blaming everything on the full moon or Mercury retrograde or like when people look at that cat. I love that she's like, oh my God.
Just feeling it. Just feeling that the new
Yeah.
moon. Sorry.
I don't know. I love it. It's great. So this week for me, I it was like the floodgates of energy just like hardcore opened up. And I was on the very, being pushed forward by the tidal wave of energy to the point where I was like, this shit is like batshit crazy. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Like, I am one person. I can only do so much. This is great that there's so much new energy, but like, holy shit. And
Mm.
with all the work that I've been doing of purging and releasing and acknowledging and letting go, like last or episode 2 or the last episode, I forgot which one you said, you were like, yeah, you're letting go of old patterns. That means brand new energy is coming in. And
Yeah.
here I'm absolutely experiencing brand new energy coming in to the point where I was like, I am not a surfer. I do not like this tidal wave. Holy shit.
You're like looking back at the wave and you're like, oh.
Okay, great. I love this. Okay, beautiful. This is new. Okay.
All right, just gonna like get ready.
Yeah, but also like just simply acknowledging like I am one person. I can only do what I can do. I'm acknowledging all of this brand new energy and like I got to learn how to delegate more at work. I
That's
need you to
awesome.
do this. I need you to do this. This is what needs to happen moving forward. Like, I mean, I've been in charge of teams before. This is new territory in the sense of like um yeah, using my words to delegate.
Yeah. Yeah, which, you're the nonverbal ninja, so
Right.
okay. My
Yeah.
cat is just like roaming all around.
I mean, we're
Um,
talking about like cats and moons are absolutely connected.
that's true. She's feeling it. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's really, really wonderful. Hard. I get that's challenging, but it feels like that's stretching you in ways that is gonna it's gonna benefit you, right? Like it's essentially
Absolutely.
expanding you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I said to my boss, I was like, because he was like, why is delegating so hard? And I even said to him, I'm like, outside of this job, I've been
Mhm.
doing everything solo. It's been on me. Like
Right.
for the first time with North Node, I have a business partner. I can rely on you and we can collaborate and Like you're like, oh, I'll take care of that. Oh, no, no, I'll email this person. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, this is new, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly having a team at work, I'm like, oh, you mean I don't have to control everything? I don't have to do it all on my own? Like,
Mm,
oh, I get to say, this is how I need you to show up. This is what I need you to do. This
yeah.
is what needs to happen today so that this flows smoothly.
Yeah.
Um, and I get to reflect on where I thought I had communicated that, but looking back and reflecting like, oh, I was holding your hand during this day and this day and this day. And I didn't quite express like, no, come this day, you're on your own. Like I can't be holding you
Right.
forward. And so great.
Yeah, it's huge. I I feel like that's a really important theme as human beings. Like we can tend to really put everything on ourselves, and then we end up feeling not only stressed, not only like exhausted, but really alone in the process when maybe
Yeah.
we actually do have resources that we can reach out to,
Yeah.
right? Like we're creating our own isolation in that. And that's
Yeah.
not to say that like it's also beautiful on the flip side to feel your own agency and do your own thing and create whatever you want to create. It's just like both are super important. So how do you engage in life knowing that you have resources uh and reaching out to those resources?
Yeah. For
Hmm.
me, if I'm in a fight or flight mode, I'm I'm not going to remember that I have resources.
That's a great thing to go into. Tell me more.
Yeah, so regulating my nervous system,
Huh?
especially with how much emotional trauma and physical trauma this body has experienced,
Yeah.
not only growing up, but in the blatant conversations that we've had through the other episodes, um, like it has been beyond important, beyond important to calm and regulate my nervous system, to create safety both with and for my body,
Yeah.
to come back to body and acknowledge I am not the body, but I will keep you safe,
Yeah.
right? And so when I'm in a regulated state, when my nervous system is calm, I make drastically different decisions.
Yeah.
Empowered, bold decisions.
Yeah.
And this is what I
Mm-hmm.
I showcase and teach not only our clients, but my clients on the side of like, no, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
When you are able to come out of your head and out of the space of fight or flight, I gotta go, or I'm ready to fucking punch you. I'm ready to deck you, right? Like when you're out of the freeze response or the fawn response, when you're truly present to acknowledge objectively what is happening, then you're able to be like, then you're able to play chess with life.
Yeah. That is so true. There's a drastic difference between being in high alert and like hypervigilant versus being in your body, calm, feeling the present moment. Like, let's go into that a little bit more of what is it like to be in your body? Like, we use that language a lot, but what does it
Right.
actually mean to be in your body, to um, be in the present moment with yourself?
I mean, well, I just took a deeper breath.
There you go.
That
That's part of it, right? Like,
is such a big part of it.
mhm.
To allow yourself to fully take in air, to allow your both of your lungs to take in air equally and evenly,
Yeah.
to allow yourself to exhale,
Hmm.
to allow yourself to pause, to fully sit here in this chair and be present with you for this conversation. My mind isn't elsewhere. My focus is present with you,
Yeah. That's a
right? Like, go ahead.
that's a big piece too. Like our focus is our superpower. Everything we focus on amplifies. And then,
Yeah.
right? Like, so like if we focus on, if you drop, like, meaning you put your attention down into your actual physical heart and you sit with that and you breathe, you even breathe into it, like you, meaning you put your attention into your breath going into your heart. Ooh, that's like, that gets me in my body real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, it's a lower,
Mm.
it's a lower settling. Like I go be feminine. I go down to my womb space and I'm
Shocking.
and I'm in my sacral. Um, but I put my attention on my hips and the core of my being. Um, when I'm in my heart space, that's huge and expansive. But for me to be
Mm.
in my body is to focus my intention and attention down to my womb space and to my
Okay.
hips. And
That's
so
cool.
yeah, and so I'm able to like sit and be present with you because I'm I mean, like, think about it, a womb is like this, a bowl. And
Yeah.
so able to hold space both with and for you and receive, right?
Yeah.
And so then I'm able to be present with you and like, look, my two hands are actually doing it because we are actually doing it.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
But
I,
that's me and my physical being to be able to be emotionally and mentally present with you.
yeah. And I love that we're speaking to differences in how you can tune into that because it really depends on you and what you need. It's not, there isn't a manual that's like, oh yeah, step one, two, and three. This is how you do it, right? Like it's,
So different.
yeah,
Like, even for tomorrow or even a few hours from now, it might be so different, like based off of how hydrated am I? Did I eat? How much caffeine have I had? Right? Like, cheers. Am I am I able to slow down and be present? We're such an immediate society,
mm,
and it's not even so much immediate. It's like I was supposed to be there 5 minutes ago and I've got to rush. It's like so much fucking rushing around. It's like, are you okay? No wonder you're not really able to be here. No wonder you're on autopilot. No wonder you're 15 steps ahead and you're so impatient with yourself. Like, when I'm able to fully be present with my physical body and center and regulate my nervous system, I'm able to actually manifest my intention so much faster because I'm not rushing into it. Like, I'm able to be
yeah,
present with I'm able to be present with the discomfort of acknowledging that it's not quite here yet, but yet envision and pull in the energetic response of, it is me.
yeah,
It is me 15 minutes from now. It is me a year from now, fill in the blank. Like, no, I've already got it.
yeah,
I've already got it.
yeah. That it create, you actually get to create in that way.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's interesting, like there's such a paradox that I really appreciate, which is, for example, say you're feeling something like distress and
Yeah.
your nervous system is starting to get into that sympathetic mode of fight, flight, freeze, fawn, right? And I'm
Yeah.
with you. If I, if my nervous system joins with you, then I'm not going to be as present. Say, for example, I'm like, I'm in the mindset of, oh, I have to take care of her. I have to save her. I have to rescue her from this feeling or whatever, right? But really, like, I'm scared of just being with your feelings because maybe I'm scared of being with my own feelings, right? So then I merge with you And there isn't a separation of our nervous system to where if I start regulating myself and I feel a separation in a sense, that
Yeah.
separation lets me actually be present with you.
Right.
And then maybe your nervous system picks up on my calm, which
Yeah.
then it's not my responsibility to regulate you,
Right.
but it's a beautiful gift to be able to co-regulate with each other. And so then you drop into breathing more deeply because I'm breathing more deeply. And then we're both calm. And it's a beautiful paradox because it's separation and then coming together because of the separation, right?
Can we talk more about the merge?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
You and I both have this ability of
Mhm.
being able to merge very easily energetically with other people.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about what that means to you and what that has done to you in a healthy and unhelpful way?
Yeah. So it's an interesting thing, right? I feel that there's many components to that. Like there's a spiritual component that we come into this life with being able to have that ability. And then there's a trauma component of like we learned growing up through our own trauma to merge with other people because then we would be safe,
Yeah.
right? Because then we could manage ourselves because we're
Yeah.
attuning to others. So we merge our energy with them and it becomes a superpower in of itself in that sense. And so for me, the way it showed up in an unhealthy way was through people pleasing growing up
Mhm. Yeah.
and me like performing and seeking approval of others through means of like how I spoke or with my parents like what I did what I achieved, right? But there's this sort of like there's these layers of protection inside of people pleasing, which is I'm going to hide how I actually feel because I know or I feel or I perceive that you're going to have a negative reaction to me and reject me. And so, what does that do to me? That totally isolates me from actually expressing myself. And so, it's in its own way, it is a manipulative thing that I did inadvertently, not
Yeah.
maliciously, but
Right.
I did it to like adapt to the environment and to cope with things that I was scared of expressing,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that's a big piece of how it showed up in a unhealthy way. Do you
Yeah.
want to share how it showed up for you in an unhealthy way, and then we can kind of go into the healthy way?
I mean, legit the same way.
Okay. Yeah.
The people pleasing, absolutely. Like the morphing myself to show up to be what I perceived the other person wanted me to be.
Yeah.
And so like I would shapeshift and like mold myself into a box and um sometimes it would be like, no, that's what the other person communicated to me. So that's what I would go after. And then once I would arrive there, I'm like, look, I did the thing. And
Yeah.
then it would be like, no, you were supposed to go do this thing. And so then you go back and you like unwind a little bit and then you go forward and like mold yourself up like, look, I just did the thing. And then it would be like, no, what are you doing? You're supposed to go do the other thing.
Right.
And so for me, it got to the point where it was like, this is fucking exhausting.
Right. It's never enough.
Right.
Yeah. And then unfortunately that reinforces for me, like personally, and I wonder for you, is like that reinforces belief that one, I was never good enough.
Right.
Like I had low self-worth. And two, uh, it's the absolute worst thing for me to actually express my feelings and what I need or what I want, I
Yeah.
became so scared of that.
Mhm.
And a part of it, yes, like it was definitely my environment, but there's also this component of I reinforced that inside of myself by not even trying to express
Right.
myself. Like I
Right.
take ownership of that. That's on me, right?
Yeah.
Huge.
Right. Right. It's up to me to like not abide and to not morph to that, like whatever they say that I need to be of, you know, and especially reflecting of how much I've been cursing on this podcast. It's like one, not only is it a ripple effect of the brain injury, like suddenly, like I never cursed before the brain injury. Like
Really?
never,
I didn't know that.
never.
Wow.
It
Okay.
was, yeah, never cursed.
Hmm.
I started to sort of curse a little bit, like a little bit in grad school, but even at that, like it felt really not like me. And then when the brain injury happened, all the words were suddenly the same.
Wow.
And so like as I've been watching or rewatching, our conversations,
Hmm.
and listening to how I'm speaking, and with how loud I get and how often I'm cursing, like there's a part of me that's like the old critics,
Ah,
uh,
yeah.
um,
Yeah.
what I'm supposed to be,
Mm.
have sort of been like charging up, and I'm like, it's okay. You don't need to abide by that. You don't need to
Yeah.
live by that. Like in episode 1, we said we're unapologetically going to be ourselves. And so I'm going to show up and just unapologetically be me. And if I ruffle your feathers, well, then don't listen. And that's okay. Right? That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
Totally.
I also want to talk about some of the negative effect of merging,
Yeah.
um, through sex.
Okay. Let's talk about
So,
sex, baby.
so your sex is so nuanced, and there's so many layers, and it's beautiful and amazing and fun, and but one of the negative ripple effects could be, when well, let's think about it. Like you're merging physically with somebody, okay? You're sharing a very intimate part, and you're expressing a very intimate part of yourself,
Yeah.
and your energy is merging too
Yeah. On a very deep level.
on a very deep level. And so you're taking on that person's trauma and karma.
Mm-hmm.
And because of how my energy is, and I so easily merge with somebody energetically, that I was scooping up all of their stuff and carrying it with me.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've learned as I've, been diving into spiritual and energetic healing is really how to detach and how to separate, like yours to you and mine to me, yours to you and mine to me. And the more that I dive into pranic healing, the more that I'm able to really begin separating out and like not taking on the stuff, to not scoop it up while we're, floating around and merging physically and having fun or whatever. But also like to energetically and spiritually not take on the stuff. Um, that's something that I wish I had learned sooner,
Hmm.
because it actually uh, shifted how I was making decisions for a long time.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Sex is so powerful. Sex is
It is.
potent. Sex is, to me, sex is sacred.
Completely. Same. Yeah.
Totally sacred, because I'm so spiritually and energetically aware.
Hmm.
Like to me, it's like it's no, no, no. We're helping each other raise our vibrations. We're helping each other reach the cosmos. We're helping each other like
Mm.
really like tune in to the frequency of God. Like You
Mm,
really, like,
mhm.
it really is.
It's magic.
It's yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
totally.
And so a ripple effect, like, I really wish that growing up, my mom and my grandparents knew more about the energetic
Mm,
responsibility of sex, and not just to say, sex is bad, wait until you get married.
right. Yeah.
To not just to like, because we had no healthy conversations regarding sex, like
Mhm.
none. She makes fun of me. She's like, your sex talk was the longest. And I'm like, I had three questions, like three questions. How was that the longest? Like, your idea of our sex talk was like you handed me a pamphlet and it talked more about my period than anything. And I'm like, I don't understand how you perceived that. Anyway, I'm
Yeah.
getting off. One of the main reasons why I'm so open about talking about sex with my clients is because it's educational in the sense of, no, you don't understand how spiritual it actually is.
Yeah.
And when you're able to connect to your own sovereign energy, when you're able to empower yourself as a sovereign sexual individual, you actually choose different partners.
Yep.
What you're attracted to is vastly different.
Yes.
Like, vastly different. And maybe that's scary for you, and that's fine, right? Like, then we're not meant to work together. If that scares you, like, I am not your coach. I am not your healer, because I will figure out like what it is that you're afraid of, and I will poke it.
Oh
And
yeah. Yeah.
I will
Yes.
hold space in a very safe way for it to come to the surface, and then for you to transmute it and grow from it.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But I'm so grateful that I'm now aware of that. And then that's also part of what I teach too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot there. I'm just taking it in.
I know.
Uh,
I
no, no, you're good. You're good. Uh, yeah, and I was thinking about like, you know, my mom, she she's actually really good at like being so open about sex. And I grew up in a Christian environment. And I was the one that was like, "Oh, I'm gonna court somebody and wait until marriage." And she was just like, "Oh, like you should just try things out, you know?" And I was like, "Mom, no." Um, so it's just interesting that she was very open about sex. And I was the kid in like junior high that was telling my friends what sex is because my mom told me. And we had all these conversations about it.
yeah.
And so there was an interesting like openness in my not my whole family, but my mom. And then going to this environment of like a Christian private school where it's just like it was shameful to talk about sex. It was shameful to even consider people were masturbating. Like it was a sin, right? And so internalizing these vastly different experiences was
Yeah.
confusing, so confusing.
Yeah. In like so much of that resonates with me. I was also the one saying, no, I'm going to wait until I'm married.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
As it was projected, the story was projected onto me that sex is bad. But no, 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 you wait until you get married. And then I'm
right,
like, when you're married, like, how is it good then? Right? Like,
right.
it was a confusing message.
Yeah.
And I did not wait until I got married. I I had a boyfriend before.
Alert, right?
I had a boyfriend who I, explored with, and um I I
Yeah.
don't how do you, yeah, how do you talk about that? Like, it's like I'm not let me be very clear. I'm not against sexual exploration. If
No.
it like some people, it's part of their soul contract to have very many partners.
Yeah.
Okay, like that's part of your journey in this lifetime.
Hmm.
For me, in this lifetime, I am not meant to have casual sex. It does not resonate with me for
Yeah.
very many reasons. Um, and so I choose my partners very carefully. Uh, it's almost like I'm hardcore observing, 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 observing.
What, you have Virgo in your Venus?
I
Strange.
know, right? Exactly. Exactly. And then I'm like, when I feel safe enough to explore sexually, then I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
This is an open door. Let's go for it. Um, I mean, but again, like that does not, there's absolutely no judgment in anybody that has had many partners. It's
Right.
just it doesn't, it's not something that resonates with me. And
Yeah.
even in the number of partners that I've had, like people would be like, that's too many. And I'm like, actually, it's not, but okay. Like,
Right.
oh,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad you said that because I feel similarly, and I know we both value um, everybody having their own process and experience and
yeah,
honoring that no matter what it is, and celebrating how people explore and discover themselves in ways that are just so beautiful that may be completely different from how we've experienced it.
right, exactly. And moreover, like especially as a healer, especially as a facilitator, like I am holding space and I always say, listen to your intuition. What feels right for you?
Right.
What feels right for you? I will also challenge of get your nervous system in check.
Completely. Yeah.
Make sure that you are feeling safe and operating from an empowered choice, not based off of fear,
Yes.
right? But also follow your intuition.
Ooh, let's go more into that. Fear versus intuition.
Oh, this is great because especially as you are getting an understanding for regulating your nervous system and calming your emotional state, your mental state, your physical state, um, you're going to go through trial and error of, ooh, did I make that choice based off of fear? Did I
Yeah.
make that choice because it felt familiar versus, no, this is the right choice for me?
Hmm. Hmm.
Right. And familiarity is, especially coming from a
Yeah.
traumatic background, familiar. Like you could be very well like choosing the same thing and you don't even know it. Your nervous system could be choosing for you because it feels familiar, but it's not necessarily safe.
Right. Yeah, and our brain wants familiar. It wants to avoid any kind of discomfort. And so if your nervous system is in fight, flight, freeze, fawn,
Yeah.
it's gonna want to go to that real quick.
Right, which is why sometimes people pick multiple abusive partners
Right.
or they pick multiple partners that it's like, why am I choosing the same thing? Right? Like why did I choose the same version
Mm-hmm.
or a similar version of that
Right.
person and pattern? I'm like, oh, okay, what is it about me that I need to shift moving forward so that I am making a different choice?
Right. Yeah.
So that brings us back to like the original topic of like, what is actual self-care and how do you actually regulate your nervous system?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
For me, actual
Yeah.
self-care is like, no, acknowledging my boundaries and then following through.
Right. And let's define boundaries, right? Boundaries, and please add to this. From my experience and definition of boundaries, what it looks like is if I cross this line, I am moving out of my integrity, my values, who I want to be. It's all about me and choosing what is my line. Because if I go beyond that, I'm
Mhm.
violating something really sacred inside of myself. It's not about the other person. The other like people think boundaries is you can't cross this line. No, that's not, you can voice how you feel and how the person's impacting you. Yes, please.
Yes. Yeah.
But if you
I
go into like, right, if you go into trying to control the other person's behaviors
Right.
or how they feel, sorry, that's not a boundary at all.
That's a difference. That's a different thing.
It's a
All
different thing
entirely. Yeah.
completely. So yeah, like you were saying, I need to like acknowledge my boundaries and follow through on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it's so important that I choose a romantic partner that can hold space for me as I navigate big triggers.
Hmm.
To not be afraid of the trigger that I'm experiencing.
Yeah.
Um, is it that other person's responsibility? No. It's my responsibility. It's
Hmm.
my responsibility to navigate my own triggers, but like to have a partner who can hold space for me as I'm navigating my own trigger is huge,
Right.
right?
What is that
Because
like?
I've been with a partner who has gotten impatient with me as I'm navigating something, right?
Yes.
Like, okay, well, what does that look like down the line if I lose somebody very close to me due to them leaving their body? Like, what is or if I'm, navigating sort of an illness, like what does that look like?
Right.
Like, and as I'm navigating like, I don't want to say chronic because I believe that I will fully heal this brain injury or the ripple effect of this brain injury. um if you are impatient with me as I'm navigating, some chronic fatigue,
Yeah.
right? Like I measure my battery life way differently than a person who has not had a traumatic brain injury.
Yeah.
And so I sometimes it's an unapologetic, like I gotta go. Like I gotta leave this scenario. I gotta go home. I gotta go to bed. Because
Hmm.
I know that if I continue to override what's happening, I will be exhausted and I won't have anything left. And
Right.
that can sometimes be annoying. So sorry, but it is.
Right.
My boundaries are also about I need a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it.
Yeah, thank
All right, we're back. Uh, you want to like say things and then I'll say things?
you. Yeah. Yeah. So I needed to press pause for a minute.
Mhm.
Um, this morning I put an essential oil on like on my underarm, specifically like lymphatic drainage, and uh the body holds so much stored trauma. And if you're draining your body, if you're releasing certain parts or detoxing certain parts, it's going to also sort of shake up you emotionally. And so, talking about sex and then talking about boundaries, suddenly in this moment, I
Yeah.
was flooded with so much information and flashbacks and emotion that it hit me so hard, so fast that suddenly I was beginning to disassociate.
Yeah.
And then my mind went blank. And
Yeah.
so I stated, I need a minute.
Mhm.
You immediately paused the recording and you asked me, what do you need?
Yeah, how
What
can I
do you
support
need in
you?
this moment? How
Yeah.
can I support you is something that you ask so much, and I'm so grateful for, which is also why we're doing this thing.
Yes.
How we show up and support each other
Hmm.
is teaching.
Yeah.
So often, particularly within like divine masculine, divine feminine dynamic, the masculine will want to just fix.
Yeah.
let me go do and fix. And
Mm.
then the feminine is like, but that's not what I want, or that's not what I needed. I
Yeah.
didn't ask for that thing. What are you doing?
Hmm.
So to have somebody just say, what is it that you need in this moment? How can I support you? Gives me the moment to reflect back with like, okay, what is it that I actually need?
Yeah.
And then I stated it. I went and I did the thing and I came back and I was like, okay, I'm recentered. I'm back in the body. I'm not disassociating. I'm present again.
Yeah.
Here's the thing is that like healing trauma does not mean that you're totally done.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't mean that like, oh, okay, I'm totally 100% like normal. I'm normal now. It's like, no, actually, it's just like getting an oil change on your car.
Yeah.
It's maintenance.
Right.
It's okay, I'm gaining the tools. Like I use meditation as a tool. I use working out as a tool. I'm nourishing my body with supplements as a tool to
Mhm.
keep this machine, this body functioning at its optimal vitality. And so I'm gaining emotional and mental and energetic and spiritual tools
Mhm.
to navigate when a trigger happens. It doesn't mean that I'm never going to be triggered again. It
Right.
right? Like I
Yeah.
don't know if you know, but like life happens and we're
Yep.
all just like on this spinning rock hurling through space and shit gets batshit crazy. And
Yes.
in particularly within a romantic relationship, you're going to get triggered,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
right? Like there are I'm really going to go here. There are certain things that can really sexually turn me on, but also can have the potential to be a trigger because of certain things that have happened in the past. Yes. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, let's go after the thing. And then other times I'm like, I just left my body. I'm not
Yeah.
in this room. I'm holding my breath. I don't know where I am, but I'm not present with you in this moment, and I just need you to hold space for me.
Right. There's a nuance to it.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and the holding space, right? Like what just happened to you earlier. Um, Me like slowing down and attuning to you and like noticing, pausing, you voicing what was happening, right? Like all of that is super helpful in um the relational piece of this is what is happening. Okay, that allows me to know what's happening. Now I can like attune to you. And even if you didn't say anything, like I was noticing that you weren't really here for a second.
What did that look like? What do you mean I wasn't really here?
I there was a like a nonverbal sign of that with how you paused and how energetically I could feel that you weren't here.
Yeah.
And so I was ready to be like, are you okay? Or like, what's going on? And, one of the biggest things inside of a relationship is attunement. What is attunement? Attunement is like noticing one, what's happening inside of the other person, like just observing. But you can't do that in a attuned way if you are yourself like activated and
Yeah.
like triggered, right? So it's all about the awareness of what's happening in the other person and what's happening in me. And if you have the resources, if you're resourced, if you're regulated, if you're able to like, be there with the other person, then you can attune to them and be like, what do you need? How can I support you? And also, I
Yeah.
love that you brought in like that doesn't mean problem solve many times.
Right.
Typically means me just putting my attention with you.
Right. And so often, like, I feel supported just in you asking that question,
Right. Yeah.
right? Like, my response to you quite often is, no, you are supporting me because you're just allowing me the space to vent and me being me. Like, sometimes I just need to, like, get really loud about it and then I come back down and I'm
What you're
fine.
what you're a Leo, huh?
Right, exactly. Right. Like, I also want to be clear in the sense of I never direct that energy towards anybody.
No, you
It's
don't.
always like, I need to let it out. I need to get really loud. I need to talk really fast, and then I'm fine.
Right.
Right? Like, I just need to what's the word? Embrace the fact that there's fire within. It's
Uh-huh.
got to rage for a second. It's got
Uh-huh.
to get really loud. It's never directed towards anybody. If I'm ever yelling at anybody, it's because they have drastically crossed a boundary and my physical being feels unsafe.
Yeah.
Like, I was sexually harassed at work last year, and my tone and my body language was immediately like, watch yourself.
Yeah.
That
As
is
you
not
should.
okay. And I actually said those words, and I embodied that tone but slightly louder.
Mhm.
And I was so proud of myself for how I
Yeah,
protected myself.
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, yeah, of like, that is not okay at all.
Mhm.
And so there's a difference when I'm directing that fire towards somebody versus I just got to get it out.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that is really misunderstood about any fire sign or
Mm.
anybody that can be fiery.
Yes.
Um, you know, you can even label it with culture of like fiery Irish or, fiery Latino or like, it's like,
Right.
no, no, no. Like, fill in the blank of
Hmm.
what, whatever you want to put there, um, we just got to express it and release it.
Yeah.
When it gets directed to somebody, that's not really helpful.
Yeah. Definitely.
But you just asking, how can I support you,
Hmm.
is like such a powerful question.
It is. Yeah, it's massive and it allows everything to slow down and really like you said, even you hearing it is supportive because it's a sort of pause
Yeah.
and a reminder, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so healing this beautiful brain of mine, going to the gym has been huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I attended lifting classes. So they were classes held at a specific time. They were small classes, and um, you become close with some of the people who attend the same classes consistently. And so I remember saying to my friend, I'm having such a morning, I'm having such a day, and she's like, "What does that mean to you?"
Mm.
Um, and for me, it's like I was having trouble counting. I was losing my place. I was forgetting the motions, how to effectively and safely, have the form of lifting without hurting yourself. Certain muscles were turning on and off. I was having double vision. The way that the light was bouncing off of the equipment was like so distracting and confusing. And I would forget where I was. And I was forgetting the names of the coaches sometimes or the names of the people. And I was like, okay, brain, there's a lot happening. There's loud music, there's side conversation. You're trying to make your body do different things and counting. Like, there's a lot of stimulation happening for the brain.
Mhm.
And when neurons are healing, like they're trying to get back, like that video that you sent me,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
get back to connect and reformulate. And that takes time. And she said to me, she was like, "What do you want me to do so that you feel seen
Mm.
and supported on a day like today?"
Yeah, that's a beautiful question.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, one, thank you for asking.
Yeah.
And then I paused and I was like, I think just asking
Yeah.
is enough to help me feel seen of I'm really struggling to fucking function.
Yeah.
And I'm and like people don't even know, like, no, like numbers would become jumbled and I would be like, I think I
Mm.
did seven. Wait, how many is seven? And I would be go one, two, like on days that were really tough, like
Yeah.
really tough. But even just having somebody be like, I see you,
Hmm.
I see you,
Yeah.
and you're fucking killing it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're
Yeah.
showing up for yourself and that is killing it. I'm like, I don't feel
Like,
like a beast. I don't
like,
feel like I'm killing it.
yeah. That gives me goosebumps because it's one of those things that I and I think many people resonate with. It's this in its own way, it's an invisible thing that only you are experiencing. And
Right.
people can't see it, right? Like people wouldn't see this. They wouldn't get it on that
Right.
level, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so for you it's the traumatic brain injury. For me, it has been my learning disability and visual processing challenges. It's like these things that we all experience that are invisible, right? That really impact us. And it's incredible that I mean, I know a lot of your story inside of this, and it's really incredible that you have dedicated and chosen. And I know that we've had this conversation. You're like, I'm not choosing, I have to do it. And like I think it's really important to acknowledge that you have chosen to invest and pursue the path of healing for your brain, for your whole system inside of that. And hearing you talk about like your experience at the gym and the disorienting things that have occurred and you still like are in it and you have these people around you asking like how can I support, like it's just such a beautiful recognition of a human experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially because here I go.
Hmm. It's okay, I got you.
I know.
Yeah.
There were some days where I was truly terrified,
Yeah.
truly terrified of like, is this ever gonna fucking end? Is this ever gonna get better? Is this is this is this ever gonna go away? Like, how much longer do I have to navigate saying to my body, heel toe, heel toe,
Yeah.
heel toe, as I'm walking, or as I'm running? Um, if I'm lifting weights, okay, bend here. Sometimes I'll literally put my hands on my hips, bend here, hinge here, right? Like I'll touch
Mm-hmm.
to like activate like no, we're focusing on this, we're focusing on this muscle, like we're doing this.
Yeah.
There's so many nuanced movements to get me present with what it is that I'm doing, and going to the gym has been the biggest
Mm.
way for me to heal this. And when my gym dispersed, and when they said that, we're just going to the app, like I lost it.
Yeah.
I lost it. Like I had to leave and I cried in the parking lot, like, and I was like ugly crying. I was like, this is my lifeline.
Yeah.
And to have like to just go on to an app, like I'm like, that's like you don't understand. Like when I get lost or when I'm overwhelmed by the elements in the room, like I look at other people. Like I had people who I was shadowing. I would be like, my friend Han. I would be like, Han, what weight are you using? Because I'm shadowing you.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out Han. Because she was like, no, 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 I'm doing 25 pounds. That means that I grab 20 pounds,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Cues, having cues for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that sometimes she would be like, why is she always fucking asking me? But like,
But yeah,
it
it's helpful. Like,
was like, okay, even simple things like color coding kettlebells, like, no, no,
mm,
no, I know that I grabbed the pink for this movement. I know that I grabbed the blue for this movement because
yeah,
grabbing onto numbers for whatever reason has been difficult.
yeah,
Language has been difficult,
yeah.
right? And so when, I mean, anybody's brain is, it controls your central nervous system. It controls your nervous system. And certain things manifest as if I look like I'm in an anxious state,
Hmm.
but I'm actually not. Like I'm not feeling emotionally anxious, but the
Right,
body is.
right.
And so understanding those two things has been a interesting journey too.
Yeah, quite the relearning and deepening your understanding of your body.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I said this to you, what, like the other day,
Mhm.
is that the brain injury truly feels like a near death experience.
Hmm.
And how I have been able to birth and Phoenix transition,
Hmm.
like during Thanksgiving, everybody was like, what are you grateful for? And I would pause and I would legitimately be like, I'm so grateful to be alive.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I really mean that.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to be alive.
Mhm.
It has drastically shifted my life in a tough way, in a way that has caused a lot of grief, in a way that has created so much beauty.
Yeah.
And when I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm alive. Some people hit their heads and never wake up.
Yep.
Some people hit their heads and then they surrender to the fact that they'll just be 75 for the rest of their life. And I'm so grateful that you always say, no, it is a choice. It is an act of self-love. And I'm like, to me, there was no other way. Like, I'm like, no, 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 you don't understand. Like, I have to heal this thing because I don't want to be 75 for the rest of my life. I
Right.
don't want to be labeled disabled.
Right.
I That to me is surrendering to something that's not healthy or helpful. And so, what
Right.
is the point of me saying this? Of like, the narrative that we choose for ourselves. We are not responsible for the trauma that has been inflicted on us.
Right.
We are responsible for healing
Hmm.
and moving forward with an empowering narrative
Yeah.
and fill in the blank of whatever that story is for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. And that, I mean, that is such a important piece of this because, I'm working with a coach, shout out Mike, uh, and we're doing story work. And
Yeah.
it's just that, like, the narratives that play out in the background in our mind that swirl around, those are the things that like directly impact how we are in our life. And so for you to choose to create a narrative that's empowered and that is loving and in support of your process, like that is a choice, right? That's completely a choice. And
Yeah.
it directly impacts how you show up in your life and then how you feel about yourself and how you move through and navigate things that come up. The story that we tell ourselves is so massive, and I think we could do a whole like we could do like a whole series on that,
Yeah.
because the story of the work that I've done with Mike and pulling out the energetics of that story and then creating a different narrative
Yeah.
has broken through so many limiting beliefs that I've held that have directly impacted how much I show up for myself in my life.
Yes. And you're bringing all that work to North Node, especially our virtual series,
Yes.
to shift the narrative that we're holding within,
Hmm.
right? And then also, we're also doing inner critic work.
Yeah.
What's the inner critic? If the voice inside your head were to manifest into a person, would you allow that person to say what it is that you're essentially saying to yourself?
Yes.
And so shifting that narrative too,
Hmm.
right? Like the inner monologue that's happening, the inner
Totally.
talk that's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Huge, huge work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, any last thoughts before we close this beautiful
I don't know
episode out?
if we did everything that we wanted to get to.
I
I feel
think
like we did this
I
time.
think it is. I think
Yeah.
we navigated that. It felt very
Yeah.
organic how we navigated that and how it covered a lot of different things. And how we can go even deeper into those things more and more uh as we continue these episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Hmm. Cool. Well, thank you listeners, viewers for coming alongside us during this ride. And yeah, do you have any last words?
Join us next Saturday.
Yeah, yes, yes. Yeah, join us for the virtual session next Saturday. It's an hour. It's a taste of what beauty you can experience inside of the work that we do.